had some friends who just stopped in to borrow some musical instruments, specifically guitars. Now, the interesting thing is when you think of someone borrowing a guitar, you think of someone making music. But sometimes what you need is something that makes you appear like you're doing something, but you have an entirely different idea of what goes on next. So the borrowed guitars today didn't matter as musical instruments. What they mattered as were props, because my friends are making a music video. And so they will drive over 100 miles to go to the studio where they're going to make music videos. And they needed, as guitarists themselves, to look like they're playing guitars in the music video. And so we started going through my guitar collection. The first guitar I showed them was a very pretty copper-colored guitar, and one guy liked it and the other guy said, too shiny, it might not work in the music video. And then I pulled out a second guitar because I thought I was giving it to the guy who liked playing it and had already tried out the guitar. It worked as a musical instrument. He needed it as a video prop for that day. Then what ends up happening is my two friends, the guitarists, the other friend goes, oh, well, maybe that would really work for me. And so what ends up happening is I pull out another guitar. And so my two friends go off with two guitars, not to make music today, but to make a video that is going to go along with the music tracks that they've already made. Sometimes what ends up happening is somebody needs something, but you're looking at it and you're going, well, obviously this has been made to do something, so they want to do what is necessary and what the instrument has been made for. So someone comes to me and says, I need a musical instrument. I think, oh, you're going to make music. But sometimes the use case is entirely different. So just like what I've described now, where two musicians need to make a music video and they need musical instruments in order to make the video, I'm sure that you yourself have seen many music videos where the track is already done, it has been recorded, it has been sweetened, it has been overdubbed, it has been made wonderful, but now there has to be a visual representation of that. And I just think about this because what you have is a lot of people who are trying to figure out this present age. You have a lot of people who are trying to relate to what's going on around us. And in some cases, they're trying to use instruments, they're trying to use tools, they're trying to do what is necessary in order to create. But in other cases, people are not using the instruments and the tools in order to create, but in order to visualize so that you can see what creation looks like. And so in terms of this, I really want you to take seriously what we're doing in this present age, because whatever your area of skill is, whatever it is that you have a passion to do, whatever it is that you do in order to make a living, whatever it is that you do in order to build a family, whatever it is that you do in order to show care and concern for people around us, you are in the process by taking all of these different facets and all these different things, and you are building a life. And you are building a life with some people who you have chosen to have in your world, just like my two friends chose to be in the same music videos today. They've chosen to work together. And sometimes people come into covenant. Sometimes people get married. Sometimes people are in relationships which are family relationships, which they didn't have an opportunity to choose. But here they are, and they're building with it. And the tools that are around are not unlike the guitars that I loaned out today. The guitars could have been used to make music, in which case they are tools that are being used for doing what they have been made to do. Likewise, today, my guitars are being used to be in a music video. And I'm rather looking forward to seeing the music video and enjoying the music video and being able to see what my guitars look like as they are being used in a visual presentation of music that's already pre-recorded. So are you concentrated at this point in time in using tools for the purpose that they have been made for? Or are you concentrated right now in using tools for a purpose that is adjacent to what they've been made for? You know that this life is important. You know that you have to be multifaceted in terms of being able to take care of the different things that you are doing in this life. You know that there's going to be times that you're going to have to be provided with specific tools and you're going to use them in specific ways. But in the spiritual life that you are living, make sure that attention is paid to using the tools for the purpose that they've really been made for. Likewise, make sure as you are doing this that any communication that has to take place that's adjacent to the primary task of living a good and a righteous life that pleases God is also done. So if I was to compare the borrowing of the guitars and the making of the music video and the difference between making the original track that the music video is going to and then communicating the track, understand that Scripture puts far more emphasis into our living a righteous and a godly life, and a life that is filled with the Spirit of God, a life that is filled with purpose, and a life in which we are concentrated on using the tools that God has provided for us to build a life that's praiseworthy and worthwhile. But at the same time, at the end of the book of Matthew, it talks about our being a people who communicate how wonderful, magnificent, and great it is to live a life that's centered on Messiah, and a life that is powerful, a life that is present, and a life that others are invited to as well. So with the music video, the guitars will go, and they will be in a music video today. My friends who are musicians will use them and will cooperate with the videographer, and they will end up making amazing things happen. And in the end, it was important that the music was made using instruments. It is important that it's communicated. Likewise, in terms of your spiritual life, it's important that you live a spiritual life that is praiseworthy by heaven itself. And it is also important that you communicate in a fashion to others that this is available. Because contrary to what you think, not everybody knows. Shalom.